Now that the first season for Street Fighter 6 have been completed pretty much, I feel like it's a great time to take a look back at this game, check out what worked and what didn't. Hey guys, MC Mura here. Today we're gonna talk about character mechanics in Street Fighter 6. Characters have had unique mechanics in Street Fighter games for as long as I can remember, but it wasn't really until Street Fighter 6 where it felt like Capcom is trying to push this concept across the entire roster. Almost everyone got a unique gimmick to them in this game. Some got a unique resource that they gotta manage, like Blanca and his Blanca Shantoys, Yuri with her stores, spray cans, all of that. Some got completely like unique gimmicks, like for example DJ. His light specials are typically fades, medium are single hits, heavies are double hits, Ken his run enhances his special, Chun-Li got stats, some got power-up installs like Ryu and Honda, pray for the sun. But unfortunately, not all character mechanics are created equally. Some of them are really useful, add a lot of depth, add a lot of new fun to the characters, while others feel kind of tagged on and doesn't really work or add that much, and if they were gone, you wouldn't really notice them. So today we're gonna take a look at, in my opinion, the 3 worst character mechanics in this game. I'm not gonna include Jamie's drink or Manon's medal level because I do think these actually work. The characters, they are built entirely around them. Today I'm gonna talk about the mechanics that doesn't really gel well gameplay wise, regardless of the tiers. Some of the characters here are actually really good. So let's get straight on with it. So the first character mechanic that in my opinion didn't really add that much would be Camy's. Camy is a character that have always been a very straightforward, very simple character. In this game, they try to add a little bit more to him, add a little bit more sauce. And what they did is they altered some of her heavy special moves. In this game, Camy can hold some of her heavies and they get enhanced properties. For example, this is a regular heavy spiral arrow. As you notice, 2 hits knockdown, but if you hold it gets enhanced property. It pretty much becomes the OD version, right? 5 hits and switch sides, allow juggle. 5 hits switch sides and allow juggle, and the same can be said about her DP. This is a regular one, and if you happen to hold it, she does like a version that is more akin to her OD version. The idea here is if you're able to land like some specific combo routes, you're able to use OD moves without really using OD moves, right? This is kind of the point, but in actuality, like the only time you see Camy really going for these moves are like the level 3 cancel on the charged heavy arrow, right? Like this one, right? This is the ones that you see, because if you happen to do the uncharged uppercut into super, the super will actually whiff, right? The super will whiff, so she's kind of forced to go into the charged one, right? Other than that, in actual real gameplay, there is very few instances where you actually get to see the charged version. I think it's a pretty cool mechanic. And on the other hand here, we got Luke, who got like flash knuckles, but he also got the charge mechanic. And Luke got the perfect charge, he got like the fully charged versions. There is like some interesting give and take here, some interesting skill ceiling to Luke with that. But with Camy, it's not really that. Like, you just do heavy punch, you keep holding the uppercut and it will combo. No perfect charge, no partial charge, none of that. The spiral arrow just pretty much like only lands in like some juggle situations, or if you happen to like do a drive rush heavy punch. So very, very specific applications. And even like the charged hooligan, like outside of getting the DI stun in the corner, you don't really use it that much. So interesting idea with Camy. They could have added a lot more to it and made it more interesting, but I feel like maybe it was like too powerful at some point and they kind of dialed back on it. I don't know. I feel like they could have done a lot more with it and made it a lot more interesting. Obviously, we got Denjin with Ryu, right? The Denjin charge. In this game, Capcom have designed Ryu with a new special move, is his Denjin charge. And once he uses that, it buffs up his Hadokens and his Hashogekis, right? They get enhanced properties, and obviously the Super, the OD versions, and all of that. So this actually does alter the character in a really fun way, right? In the same way, maybe, that you can say Yuri stores, right? And similarly to Yuri stores, Ryu can't really not use him, right? So Yuri will store here, and if she does any of her like quarter circle forward moves, she is using the charge. There is no option that you can go for an uncharged version once you have the stores ready. Ryu is pretty much the same thing. Once you got Denjin, your next Fireball or your next Hashogeki are gonna be Denjin Hashogeki or Denjin Fireball. The issue with Ryu is that he only get one store, right? And typically you will go for like a combo route, you will knock them down, and instead of going for Oki, you will build up Denjin, right? The issue is Ryu is a character that have to rely a lot more on his fireballs than say a character like Juri. Juri still got a fantastic walk speed, insane normal, absurd drive rush and all of that. So she does have the store, and for Juri is like much easier to build up store because she can also like incorporate it into her combos. Like she's easily able to like store up and still get like some combo conversions. Not so much with Ryu. Ryu have to give up his Oki, Ryu have to give up his knockdown advantage to build the charge. And once he does, his neutral gets significantly worse. Now, when he does have the charge, he does have insane damage potential because again, one heavy punch into OD Hachogeki into BAM, that is like absurd damage from a pretty easy confirm. But like I said, like you are building the Denjin charge and now you have to play nerfed Ryu, right? Because your neutral is a lot worse now, and one fireball is like you have given up the charge. So it puts Ryu in a pretty awkward place. Now there are a lot of ideas on like how you can do it, how you can fix this one. Maybe make it so that once you got Denjin charge, you still got access to the regular fireballs. Some will say allow him to store multiple Denjins, maybe kind of like Juri's, where he can have 3 Denjin charge, and that could be an interesting route to take. But I feel like the idea is there. There is something really cool with Ryu. They have cooked up something that could be interesting, but the execution now make it so that like it doesn't really work as well. It's in an awkward spot where it's kind of good, but it really is bad at the same time. And I feel like we need to come up with something that could make Ryu a much better character if they have a solution for this. So finally we got Honda. I feel like Honda is the third of the trifecta of really awkward character mechanics because he got the Pray to the God buff that enhances his 100 hand slaps, right? So what it does is after Honda uses the buff, like this is the regular hand slap, right? 6 hits. After the buff, he will add like another hit on top and just allow him to follow up with the combo, right? Like get some added conversions here, get added damage. This was his V-skill in Street Fighter V. This is an interesting idea in theory, but again in practice, it doesn't really add that much. Now, maybe because Honda is like a kind of a turtly character, the idea is if you are like if you're just hanging around in the neutral, you can kind of use it as a way to deter the opponent from approaching. But the thing is, it doesn't do anything for him on hit, right? Here, for example, I will turn the frame data on. And I'm gonna make Blanca block all, right? So his regular light hands is -4. If he does like the enhanced version, it's still -4. And the charge is gone. So the idea is if he's hanging around in the neutral and he does it, like that doesn't really deter him that much. I really don't think it's a powerful deterrent. Maybe if this buffs his next 100 hand slap so that it is actually plus on block, then maybe we got something interesting here. Because let's be real, right? We got Honda and we got Blanca, right? Blanca Shan added so much to Blanca, maybe too much because the character is now kind of ridiculous, right? But Honda, and I know this is a character that no one likes, really, outside of like stun combos or like getting guaranteed hits, when was the last time that this was really useful? Because I feel like it really isn't. Like it is such a nothing buff when it could be interesting. It could make it so that you don't really wanna play lane versus Honda, make it so that you wanna approach him, because if he does it, if he got the buff, now he does have cancelable normals. And I do think this one maybe should be able to cancel into 100 hand slaps as well, right? Maybe it's an interesting idea. Honda is one of these characters that could be very scary, but also he is hard nerfed by the game mechanics in a way. So a workaround with his new like V skill, his Pray to the God buff, I feel like could be interesting. It's something that feels so tagged on top and have very little thought that went into it, that I feel like if they fleshed it out a little bit, maybe it could make the character a lot more fun, right? Because I feel like his Blanca Shan setups and Blanca Shan doll mix-ups and everything made him a much cooler character, at least to me personally, right? So I don't think it would really make Honda that much more obnoxious. I don't know. Maybe it will, but the guy kinda needs help. I mean, let's be real. He's the most annoying character in the game, but also he kinda does needs help. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think are the character mechanics that didn't work, right? Because we got some awesome mechanics in this game. Chun-Li got the stance, Ken got the run that enhances his specials, we got feints, we got sways, we got charge, hold, dash cancels with something like Ed. There's a lot going on. Which ones do you think are the best? Which ones do you think are the worst? I didn't really want to talk about Jamie's drink or Manon's middle levels because the mechanic actually work. It's just that maybe the character need more tools to like drink up or like level up. I feel like the mechanic work is not something that is kind of worthless or recklessly added on top, kind of like what they did with Honda, Camy, and Ryu. Anyways, I will leave a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.